Alright. Parkour is completed. Oh yeah, also, I after I did the end fight, I just completely forgot about the dragon egg. So I was like, yo, Wes, can you slash give me the dragon egg? It's not there. 'Cause no, I didn't remember it. I didn't remember its existence, and then I was like, oh shoot, I never got it, which means it must just not be there for some reason. So he gave it to me, and then I just went back and checked if it was there. So now I have two. Also, Wesley spent more time in creative on the server than he did survival. So, like any other server, Modded Apocalypse was a fun server created by me and my friend just to have fun. However, it was a light anarchy server, meaning of course there would be chaos. Season 1 of Modded Apocalypse began on July 25th, 2024, after being prepared for a couple of days. Throughout this first season of Modded Apocalypse, there was lots of betrayals and funny moments, as with any server. Some notable moments included raiding another team's base, our own base getting raided twice, betraying our teammate, and eventually a tournament right before server end. This server was not absent of problems, as dilemmas of hacking and X-raying became a thing. However, even with this drama, Wesley still managed the server really well, to the point where I and many other players kept playing the world even after the server ended. It was a genuinely fun thing to play that summer. Season 1 of Mod Apocalypse ended September 7th, 2024. But unfortunately, these issues of cheating would certainly not be the last. Overall, Season 1 was my personal favorite season, as the server never felt dry and there was always something happening. Let's move on to Season 2. Season 2 of Mod Apocalypse began on January 19, 2025, just 134 days after the first season had ended, or approximately one school semester. While it did not have problems at first, this server had hyped itself up to be the newest, better version of Season 1, with new members, new mods, and overall just a better experience. Personally, the start of the server was very fun for me, as I made my Trapping My Enemy in Mod Apocalypse Season 2 video with my friend, where we just had a simple trap that was honestly pretty hilarious. If any of you viewers noticed, which if you didn't do your homework, that's okay too, I only uploaded 2 videos of Mod Apocalypse Season 2. But why? What happened? Well, unfortunately, all of the then Discord servers have now been deleted, so from here on out you guys just gotta trust me on what I'm saying. Anyway, Mod Apocalypse Season 2 brought 3 admins instead of 1, like last season. The 3 admins were myself, Wesley, and Aiden. If you don't know who these people are, don't worry, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, Aiden had offered to pay for the server in exchange for getting access to the console, since he kinda owned it. Wesley took him up on his offer, which turned out to be a grave mistake. The first 2 weeks of the server were completely fine, as we all had fun even in the betrayals and battles. However, when my base I had created 2 days ago just got found out, I started to get suspicious. You might be thinking, but James, you could have just had a really obvious base. Which is true, but this reminded me of something. I already knew the culprits, Wesley and Aiden, as they were the only two people online when this happened. And this has nothing against them, as the whole point of this is betrayal and anarchy. But this reminded me of something. Another one of the server members, Parker, had told me just a few days ago that Aiden had used the console to find his base. At the time, I just thought Parker was really salty, but now that I had been a victim, I reached out to Parker just to figure out why he claimed this in the first place. Parker explained that he had a client-side mod that he didn't tell anybody about, that let him see when admins did something in the console. And sure enough, Aiden had used the console to see Parker's location, and therefore base location. Now, I thought this was extremely suspicious, as one does, because he could have done the same thing to me. Since I was an admin, I also had access to the server console, and I found all the proof I needed. Aiden had previously logged out at his base, which was 6,000 blocks away from mine. Now, to go base hunting with Wesley, as Aiden explained, in a straight direction directly to my base coordinates seemed extremely suspicious, so I called him out. He kept denying it, but eventually said that he had cheated using the console to find people's base coordinates. Since Wesley was the elder mod in this situation, him and I discussed what to do. It was getting late and we all headed to bed, deciding we would discuss this more the next morning. However, Wesley and I woke up in horror as hundreds of Discord notifications were on our phones. We checked, and apparently that morning, Aiden's mom had lost her credit card and Aiden had to cancel the server immediately. However, that's not how servers even work. You pay for a month and then it's basically good until it charges you again for the next month. So the server wouldn't have shut down even if this did happen. To this day, we still don't know if this was a lie or not, but we know Aiden was trying to shut down the server and bring us down with him. I don't have an exact date, but let's just say the server ended around February 2nd, 2025. This marked the end of Mod Apocalypse Season 2. And hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, maybe consider subscribing. And also, please do not send out any hate or anything to any of the server members I mentioned, as this has all been resolved now. Let's move on to what I like to call the waiting period. The waiting period began as soon as Mod Apocalypse Season 2 ended. People were wondering if we would get a Mod Apocalypse Season 2 Part 2, or if we just had to wait another semester for Season 3. During this time, everyone was tired of waiting for Wesley and I to make a decision, so my friends decided to make Mod Apocalypse Season 0. This server was not canon to the main Mod Apocalypse servers. Not like there was a canon, but you know what I mean. The server had lots of crazy mods, and we just added whatever we wanted to experience. For example, Wizards and Magic, spells, a Transformers mod, an anime mod, a Herobrine mod. Anything we wanted, we could play. The server started on February 10th, 2025, and eventually ended around March 2nd, 2025. From here on out, there was silence. As my friends and I were wrapping up our school year, I sent a server invite. You have been invited to Mod Apocalypse Season 3. Mod Apocalypse Season 3 started June 10th, 2025, just 11 days after we had finished school. For the past month, Wesley and I invited tons of people, as well as suggesting mods to add. Eventually, we settled on Origins as the big mod for this server. Then, on June 9th, Wesley and I stayed up until 5 AM testing to make sure everything on the server was ready to go for launch day in just a few hours. Then, launch day happened. We had seen the most people in this third server and had the biggest launch day yet. Although I did not make that much content for it, the server was popping, with everyone playing multiple times a day. However, the server just didn't feel right. Something seemed off. The server fell off even quicker than Season 2 did, and once people got max gear, there was nothing to do anymore. Everybody was still a little off-put because of what happened last season, causing the server to eventually flop. Wesley and I tried to get people to play, but with people breaking rules in X-Rang, the only people who still played were banned now. At this point, since it is summer, about half of the entire server was gone for a whole week off at various summer camps. Nobody was playing the server anymore, and nobody ever joined back, even after returning. I suspect that the major downfall of Mod Apocalypse Season 2 is what brought this server to its demise as well. When people started discussing Mod Apocalypse Season 4, Wesley and I had to make an announcement. There would be no Season 4. This was it. Summed up, the reason we made this decision was each server fell off quicker than the last one, and the community was always in dismay, whether it be aiding cheating with the console or people hacking to get revenge, and Wesley was really overwhelmed managing an entire server where everybody complained and cheated all the time. The community essentially burned him out. We were done trying to manage a server where the community was never happy and the server was inactive 99% of the time. And that marks the final day of the last Mod Apocalypse server. Just me and my friend messing around before the server would meet its end. Although, all hope is not lost. Yes, this is the final season of Mod Apocalypse, but Wesley noted that he would be open to making a Season 4, if he didn't have to run it. So, maybe, sometime in the future, you might just see a new video titled, The Start of Mod Apocalypse Season 4. But who knows? Only time will tell. Hey, if you stuck all the way to the end, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'd really appreciate it if you were open to subscribing. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!